Welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, hosted by Stefan Eschi and Nick Priest. This is where we dig into the auto body collision repair field and talk quality repair methods and how the industry is always changing. Buckle up, it gonna get bumpy.
What's
Hi.
up? What's going on?
Not too much. What's up with you, man?
Not much. We got what's episode 29.
Almost a 30.
Almost to 30. It's giveaway time.
Ooh.
But we're not
calm
going
down. Calm down.
End of the show. We've got it ready. I think we've got it ready.
I think we've got it ready.
Yeah.
I think we do.
They're giving away the Dent Vision tool stuff, courtesy of this guy right here. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Hey, there he is.
And there's Janelle. I love the
future winner.
Yeah, I love James's post. I don't think anybody got it except us two. Maybe I'm wrong.
I appreciated that. I almost shared it to the Smash Masters page, reminding people to enter the giveaway today. But
Yeah.
I was like, if they're not in by now.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But we did actually have a lot of participation in that, so
We did.
everybody's chances are a little smaller than usual.
They are actually. What did we have last time? We had
Last time, 7.
7. So
7.
we have a lot more than 7 this time.
Right.
So everybody paid attention to, they would do tag 3 friends, but they wouldn't follow or any of that. So
Something
a lot more people followed along this time.
Yeah.
He said
You guys are the only ones. Yeah. Kind of figured that.
Yeah,
It's I like inside jokes like that. That was good. Tasteful.
That was good. It's pretty good. It was awesome.
So what's going on this week? What's something special?
Yeah, at my background's not like it normally is. So must mean that we got SEMA tomorrow. Flying out. Flight leaves at 6 a.m.
For you.
For me, yeah.
Mine doesn't leave till 8. I broke down, I have to say. So I already had chosen the extra legroom seats.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what I went and did?
Got one.
No, I already had that.
Oh.
They asked if I wanted to bid on a first class seat.
Oh, so now you're bidding on first class.
So I don't know if I got it yet, but I was like, I'll give you this much if you give me a first class seat if one's open.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It said I'll know an hour before departure. I'll get a text to see what kind of seat I'm going to be in. But it's a long flight. It's like a 6-hour flight all the way to Vegas from Connecticut. So, I got back issues and stuff, so I wouldn't mind the extra room.
Yeah.
It's going to be morning, but they have alcohol included with the first class, so obviously you got to have at least one beer.
Pumpkin spice beer.
Why not? If they got it.
Well, I don't know. James says luck isn't a lady; it's a fat bald guy in Indiana. So you never know. Right? You
Big pimpin'.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
Hudson says body
we all
tech
do.
with back issues. Big surprise. What's up, Hudson? Yeah.
A lot of that comes from not
going
taking
on?
care of my core. Core muscles really help a lot with back issues, if you didn't know that. But
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, SEMA's going to be fun. We're going to be in the Cam Auto booth most of the time. Not the whole time, but most of the time we'll be in the Cam Auto booth doing glue pulling demos, talking about the podcasts and such. So
Hopefully get some good video footage for you guys to check out on the podcast show. That'll be exciting.
yeah. I mean, we were just discussing about how we'll release the video. Maybe we'll do a longer SEMA video and release it as a podcast, I don't know. We'll, or maybe just as a video on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something you guys are interested in, we'll definitely do that. But yeah, something different.
Yeah.
especially for we won't be able to do it for episode 30 because we got some special guests coming in for 30, but
Hmm.
it could be for 31 maybe.
Yeah, if anybody's like a new technician in auto body world, or they're looking to get into the auto body world, next week's episode is going to be choice. So if you're watching the recording of this,
Hmm.
I'd suggest watching the rest of this episode and then make sure you watch the next one, because we have some information on like an apprenticeship program coming on. And
Yeah,
it's going to be a really, really good show. We
some
were lucky.
interesting people are going
We
to be
were
on for
lucky to
sure.
get the people on that we're getting on.
Yeah, this has been what? This has been like, I would say months, like as in plural in the making for this. So,
Oh yeah, many
uh,
months actually.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
it's been like 4 or 5 months. I think we started talking about this in the summer.
mhm.
Now it's cold.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely not summer anymore.
Right.
But yeah. So we got SEMA coming up, and then
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to MTE not too long after that, which is more of a PDR show.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be fun as well.
PDR and detailing, I should say.
Hmm.
There's some paint correction and detailing stuff as well there, and even some detailing competitions I've seen.
Can you hear that noise in my background, or is it just me? Okay, all good. All right,
Nope,
all right,
everything
cool.
sounds great.
All right, cool.
So,
Just making sure. So,
no, you're good. You're good. I mean, speaking of like technical difficulties, I mean, our guest is having a few little technical difficulties, but I think we got him on at least with audio. You want to bring him out and
yeah, let's see how he's doing. Let's see.
see how he's doing there? Hey, Dennis,
Okay,
can you hear us?
got
Yeah,
audio?
I can hear you.
All
All
right,
right. Well, at
nice.
least we got the audio. I mean, a lot of people listen to us just through audio anyway. So,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, we're just going to talk to you about, your career, your start, the YouTube stuff you do. So, how did you actually get into PDR?
Well, I got into PDR um, through Body Shop. I went to school for collision repair and finishing out in Houston, Texas,
hmm
Universal Technical Institute. And the first week I was there, one of the instructors was talking about PDR because it's part of the course, like
Mhm.
1 hour worth of the course. And that was my first introduction to it. Wasn't too interested in it at that time. I was more interested in the collision part. And then once I got a job in the collision industry, there was an in-house PDR guy and body guy, and I was intrigued by it mainly because he said that it's very difficult to get into. Most people fail. So I was like,
hmm
okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's a challenge.
yeah.
Yeah, I take it. Don't.
Long story short, I trained myself how to do PDR while I was working at the body shop, and then about 5 or 6 years after doing collision work, and about 3 years of PDR training in the shop, I started my own business and been doing it since 2015, full time.
Okay.
Okay. Nice. Nice. So a collision guy that learned PDR in the body shop. That's kind of a common thing that we've ran into on the show, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's something we focus on, but really hasn't been hard to find people in the PDR world that started in a body shop world.
Yeah.
So when you were did you make it to actually doing like structural repairs and stuff in the body shop before you left, or what level did you make it to in the body shop?
yeah. I made it to the structure. I did basically everything. I lived on the frame machine, car liner, and
Mhm.
that was the biggest push for me to leave because they just kept getting me all the train wrecks, and
As
it's
soon as you
just
show that you're good at them, that's what you
yeah,
get.
exactly.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
thing.
Andy
You want
does
to
me
try
that
to be
way.
better, and when you try to
Happy
be better,
birthday, Andy.
Happy birthday, Andy.
Uh,
you get taken advantage of.
Yeah,
100%.
you really do. And it seems like it takes about 5 years before you even get comfortable in a shop to do the start to finish thing. Much less. have to, work on every big job that comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say.
true. I was working at a body shop for about 18 months, and I left because I wanted more money,
Mhm.
and got a job at another body shop. They gave me more money than I could have imagined, and they threw me in. I mean, it was sink or swim was what was told, and I said I got my life jacket on, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
Believe it
Yep.
or not, they hammered me with stuff. I lost sleep for weeks trying
Oh,
to figure out how I was going to do some of these repairs.
yeah.
Yeah, that definitely happens. David says, not gonna lie, sometimes he intentionally slows down on some big jobs so the production manager doesn't get his expectations too high.
I get that. I
And
get that.
I think that's something that we've probably all done before, including yourself. If you was there for that amount of time, I'm sure you found yourself in some of those positions, at least once.
The politics in auto body are just,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming sometimes, and you gotta take a second to just slow down. And I don't want to say set people right, but at least show them that this normal of perfection and speed that you're used to, like, don't take that for granted. It's my toolbox got wheels for a reason.
Yeah, it seems like body shops are really hurting for technicians, writers, and painters. I visited a couple years ago. I visited 136 body shops in 2 months, and without fail, 100% of the shops asked me if I knew somebody, whether it was a
Yep.
technician or an upfront person.
Yep.
Yep, technician, writer, painter, even detail guys
Hmm.
are getting tough to find, at least good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, as we've said plenty of times on this show, it's more. Being in social media myself, I get lots of kids that ask me how to get into the industry. Nick's actually looking at the camera tonight.
Yeah. That's my
we gotta make you use a laptop every day. It's but yeah, no, it's I do see kids that are interested. The interest is there. What I see is a lack of culture to teach the kids, and not only teach them correctly, but just have somebody that actually doesn't mind training them, rather than sending these kids out into the shop to have to learn from guys that don't want to teach, that aren't teachers. That and that's the reality of it right now, and that's why most kids give up, because they can work just as hard at a McDonald's and end up manager and make just the same amount of money, or
Well, yeah, with that,
the base amount of money. But go ahead.
yeah. Well, with that being said, I mean, if you're an entry level technician, whether you've been to school or not, you have to go in there knowing it's going to be a struggle. You don't know, you really don't know anything whether you went to school or not. You don't have the tools and equipment unless somebody financed that for you. So you got to go in there with the mindset knowing you're going to make probably less money than you would working at McDonald's, because you have to buy the tools and equipment, and you're on flat rate probably, or whatever, and you're going to be working absolutely crazy hours just to learn the trade the first year and a half or 2 years, just to get your skill set, or as they say, earn your stripes. And that you can't let it be about the money at the beginning, because if it is, you're going to be extremely disappointed.
Yeah, you really are, because there's not much there at the start. You're a lot of times just barely above minimum wage at that point, trying to do anything, much less, try to learn all the different beginner parts of the trade, plus buy tools and all that other stuff. So it's
That
it's
is
a tough
true.
few years.
Yeah. I did see his question from Aiden over here, and I don't mean to just jump off topic, but he's planning on bringing his Stucky Light and his pack out into the body shop. How should you keep them secured, protected? And I have to tell you, I don't really lock up. Those are the only things I'm used to locking up my stuff. And my pack out and my light are not locked up. When I leave for weekend, I take all that stuff with me, because I'm generally doing mobile PDR on the side anyway. Not the light though. The one thing you can take into account, Aiden, is that the people in your shop don't know how to use that stuff, so they probably don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know how to
Exactly.
use these tools, even though they cost you a lot of money and they're worth a lot to you. They wouldn't know what to do with them, so they're not going to touch your stuff.
I like what Andy says right here. Bring it to keep the Bondo dust off of it.
That won't work.
You don't think
That's
so?
true.
No, it gets everywhere. Are you kidding me? My locking cabinet, I keep it closed like 99% of the time.
And,
The inside's full of dust.
Yeah.
Inside's full of dust. It's just it only has to be open for 5 minutes, and then that's it. It's covered in dust.
Nice. Well, I really hadn't had that much problem, but the shops that you work in versus mine have been a little different. They kind of have like a flow from both sides, wind direction. So I haven't had just a terribly huge problem like that.
Yeah, no,
Well-
it's everything just gathers where I am. So it's and we usually have a pretty good wind, but it just gathers. It just gathers.
I found that when a building has one door that you do most of your entering and exiting in, wind just gets in there and just circulates. It just spins in a circle.
Yep,
And
you're right.
And yeah, when you have a shop like that, there's no stopping dust at all.
Nope,
So-
not at all, not at all. It just, I mean, it collects. I've heard stories of shop owners that keep a fan running on top of the booth 24/7 just to keep dust from collecting on top of the booth. And they just have it run up there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's about that air circulation for sure.
Andrew
Recommended.
Andrew asked, do you guys recommend a good body shop light for larger damage?
Let's ask what Dennis thinks. How about Dennis? What light would you suggest for that?
We'll go with D&E light. It's I think it's from Turkey or something. I'm not sure, but you can get it in the States.
They are good.
They have pretty big ones. They're not expensive. I've had the same one since 2018. Or you can go with Drew's Tools lights. Those are fantastic. They have the Roy G. Biv,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
A1 has a pretty cheap LED lamp.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
with the
wanted it, if you wanted a cheap option with the stand, like you wouldn't have your feelings hurt too much if you broke it in a body shop. The A1 would probably be a good option, or the second one, like you said, D&E light. The 52-inch, I think, is what it is. Yeah, that's a nice light.
Yeah,
That's
So-
a really nice light.
My X Factor light, my Illuminant X Factor, the new Illuminant lights, that thing is choice for body shop use. It's the one I grab every single time. I mean, I actually leave it at the body shop now. I don't even take it home on the weekends.
Oh, really?
That's my body shop light, and it's on a DNE stand with a never loose from Carbon Tech attachment. Just such a perfect setup. It really is. I don't know. So I was asking you about your hail light stand, Nick, and I think the best part of my hail light, even though it's not really, I don't use it for hail, is that on the vertical part of the stand, there's a spot where it will twist. So I can literally turn the whole thing, the whole top left or right.
Yeah.
And that makes it just so maneuverable, especially with the never loose on top of that. That's I really love that about that stand. It's completely maneuverable.
Yeah, that is a bonus. So that's three, possibly four good options on a light stand, or a light and stand, really, if you wanted to get both.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of stand you have or anything, but if you needed both, then those are good options.
And then never loose is 100% worth the money. 100%. I mean, after using it, and then I use lights that aren't on a never loose, I hate those lights. It's all about how they're attached to the stand. That's it. That's the only thing that's changing my mind on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a Chris Fallon says he loves it when collision techs take air blowers to clean out their crap while he's working on dents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
that's all too well right there.
Yeah, I have a coworker that likes to clean off the floor like that. Actually,
Yeah.
a couple of them. So, yeah,
What's up?
I just at that point, if I have to be working at that point, I put on a mask. But generally, that you do that. All right, I'll walk away for a little while. I'll go see what the painters are up to. Shoot the shit for a minute because I'm not breathing that stuff in.
So you're working in a body shop. You got a couple of years under your belt. You start seeing some PDR stuff becoming more and more intriguing. What was some of the first tools that you kind of gravitated to and started using? I know we have a lot newer stuff now than a few years ago, but I still think it could be pretty relevant to today, especially in a body shop.
Yeah, great question. The first tools I purchased was $75 for 4 tools, and they were Ding King tools from 2000. So they were really old and rusty. Some of them were pretty shiny because it was stainless steel, but it was those tools, no light, no reflection or anything. And the guy was at the body shop, and they had a PDR stand, or it looked like a PDR stand with the light on it, and it had a very high wattage bulb, like a paint booth bulb.
Yeah.
And I'm using that trying to push dents and realizing I suck because I couldn't see the dent because the bulb was so bright.
Right.
It was drowning out the dent. But those were the first 4 tools I had. And then I said, this sucks. So I called somebody up. He said, hey, get the lowest wattage bulb you can find. So I got a 40-watt bulb and a stand and a few more tools from A1. I went the cheapest route I could without being too cheap because, I didn't want to throw $5,000 into something and realize I can't do it.
Right.
So I spent maybe $600 total with the light and kit that A1 had. And I still have all those tools and use them quite regularly for hail damage because I got the well tails from A1.
Okay.
Nice.
But if I was starting off, I would recommend something like that. Just getting a few tools. You don't need a lot. Maybe 1 or 2 hand tools and a rod, and at least a really good light, a mini light. What I would recommend.
Yeah. We're working on working with Matt Boyette actually on creating a little like a body tech starter kit. And that would have just a few push tools. Yep. He doesn't really have a light, but I mean, we can suggest lights, but just the tools alone and a knockdown and maybe a little bit of training and instruction that comes along with the tools. Body Tech doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of money, maybe a few hundred, maybe 500-600 max, but they're not, if they go to Amazon, they spend that $180 on that 80-piece kit, and they take one push rod and they go to push, and the rod bends before push the dents. That Body Tech's going to go, screw this, and then take out the dent puller and just start, doing it the old way.
These tools suck. This job sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
So
that stuff sucks. It takes too long.
Yeah, that would be pretty discouraging. There's actually been a few people in here say, that have gotten some of those stuff that's kind of been discouraged about PDR work and stuff. So
so you didn't cheap out that much by going to A1. A1's a great choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, what you guys just said, I go to body shops quite often, and they say, what tool should I get? And I can't see the dent. I can't see where I'm pushing. And I was like, do you have a light? No. Get a quality light, something that you can see. And I showed them my light and let them see me pushing, and they can see it 100% easily.
Yeah. Right.
Every time. They're like, oh, I can see it now. So that's the thing. Just get a light. Stucky has a great mini light. Elimident has a great one. But if you're in a body shop, get a shop light. You'll be happier.
Yep. Yeah. I totally agree. 100%. And it's, if you can't see it, you can't fix it.
Yep.
I think actually that was a revolutionary point for me when Gene Fetty came to my body shop to do the glue pulling training for Kiko. He had basically said, listen, this is the secret, the light. That's it. That's the PDR secret. We use the light for everything. This is how we're able to do what we do. And it changed my mindset about everything. Stop feeling the dent, start seeing the dent. And yeah, changed my life that
Yeah,
day.
with that being said, I respectfully disagree with that statement.
Okay.
If you're a body technician and using the Kiko glue pulling cart with all the awesome stuff they have,
Yeah.
you don't need a light.
Yeah.
You know, because you're seeing big damage. You know where to put the tab to pull the
To
big
rough
dent
it out, you're absolutely correct.
And if you're a body technician, you're not using those little tiny ones to pull little dents out
Mhm.
for the most part. That's where I see. I don't think you need a light if you're
Yeah,
using that just for roughing it out to put a little bit of skim coat on there.
Yeah,
the-
man, I'll also agree with that because you can see
Yeah.
and feel most all that. A lot of the shop lights reflection will give you an estimated around about general idea of where you're at.
Well, it's
It's
about
only-
finding the deepest part of the dent, right?
Yeah, it's
As
only
long
when,
as you can do that.
yeah,
Right.
and if you're
Exactly.
trying to save or or get the dent completely out, then that's when you kind of start needing, I think, to put lights on it.
It's about finding those subtle crowns to work out in order to start. I mean, now we're talking about body techs that are taking it an extra level. So this is the kind of body tech that would have gone to metal finishing before.
Yeah.
So they'll put the extra effort into getting their metal work done right. Whereas they probably don't need the light at that point. They can just mud it up and sand it all down. But those of that do learn how to use the light, do the subtle high spots, the subtle crowns, and are working the small dents. Those are the guys that we're after anyway.
I understand.
Yeah, we're out there. I mean, most of us end up going full PDR at some point. Nick did. I've got a PDR LLC. I do PDR on the side, and I never would have gotten there if it wasn't for that Kiko training that day. So it's I get what you're saying, because usually I do my first pulls without a light at all. If I can see where the deepest part of the dent is, I don't need the light.
Yeah, that's true. And like David says here, seeing how far you can go with the Kiko stuff, and then grabbing the light or whatever spot you feel like you need at the end to go even further. That's just I would say bettering your skills, honing your skills at that point. But just to rough it out, you really don't need it. And the first few years of me fooling with that stuff, I never had a light. So
That's right.
yeah,
You told me that.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about glue since we're talking about collision in PDR.
Yeah.
I get probably 2 phone calls a month from body shops asking me about glue.
hmm
How do you guys feel about different types of glues, and what are your thoughts on it for collision?
Yeah. There's a ton of different glues out there. We get that question all the time on here, actually, about what glue should we use. And really, there's a few that I personally use that I come back to, and it's Anson's collision glue, and I use Cam Auto's collision glue. Those are the two that I use 95% of the time.
Yeah, and I'm a Cam Auto collision glue. I'm an Anson collision glue. But this is always also what I'm doing in the body shop. If I'm doing PDR, I'm generally using Tab Weld or Dent Reaper Purple Perfection, whatever the purple.
I have yet
That's
to
stuff.
try that.
The Dent Reaper stuff.
Yeah, I have yet to try that.
That's great. It's great glue. Great. It's fast, just like Tab Weld, honestly. And I think it was Jim Mitchell said the other day that he was getting them to hook up in the cold weather like crazy.
Oh, really?
Whatever cold weather is to him. I don't know exactly where he's located. But
Jim Mitchell?
yep,
Yeah, he's in Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
Yeah, so I use that, and if I'm going to use a faster setting glue, I use the for lighter stuff, the green Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu glue. I use that, and Tab Weld is the main go-to for smaller stuff, for me.
So, what I tell most people, since you asked so broadly about glues, is that I mean there are so many different kinds of glues, and you can get generally any one of them to work. But you have basically two categories of glues, which would be the collision glue and the PDR glue. The collision glue is going to be slower setting and more flexible, and the PDR glue is going to be faster setting and more brittle. And I think I call them that way because the more flexible glues are just more useful in collision. The more brittle glues are more useful in PDR. I can get more of a pull out of that brittle glue. But the collision glue, when I put a tension on it and I tap in the highs with the tension applied to the tab, that tab's not going to pop off because the glue is flexible and can take those vibrations without popping.
It's got that longer set time. That's really what you're after.
So that's what I tell people.
Okay. Very
nice. It's just to simplify it, you know. And from there, I've used almost every collision glue on the market, and I come back to Anson and Camauto. Those are the ones I really like. And I've liked a few others. One of them was commented right here, but it's not available anymore.
Yeah.
Solar Blitz. It's a great glue, great product, but
that was a really good glue, and it's not available. But have you used the Anson collision glue at all?
Yeah, I have a few packs of it.
Yeah, that's you can do some small stuff way up to some really big stuff with that. And if you just had to pick one glue, I would say that one is probably your most versatile. But then again, it's like David said, it becomes more of a process than anything else at the end of the day. Some of these glues are slower setting, faster setting, and you can get any of them to work if you stick with the process.
That's true.
But that's the ones I use. If I had to pick four, I would pick Camauto's, Anson Collision, the green Jiu-Jitsu glue, and Tap Weld. As of right now, that's the ones that I've been using the most of.
Dennis, have you been getting into any lateral tension?
Yeah, I've been using it for quite a while.
I know it's not a new thing, so yeah, no.
Yeah, I use it. Any chance I get that it will be effective, and I'll use it. I noticed on a lot of the Facebook groups, people overuse it because it's quote unquote a new thing, in a lot of situations where you just don't need it. But
Sure. I will say there was one dent I used lateral tension on very early in my PDR career, which after setting it all up and getting it to work, I mean, yeah, I figured it out. I'm like, okay, I didn't need it, but it did make the dent a lot easier. So was it worth the time? Probably not.
Yeah.
But
it's quite effective.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to Juan actually about that. I asked a lot of questions to people just to see their perspective, and he said he didn't have much success with it. I said, well, you got to use it in the right situation, and it'll make you happy.
That's absolutely right. It's I had the JVF retention system for what 2 or 3 months before I actually got in some damage that was useful for it.
Same.
And then since then I've had like 8 or 9. Like it was like one right after the other. So you never know. But it took a while. I mean, even though I'm fixing huge damage every day, so it's not everything is the lateral tension candidate.
No, for sure not. A lot of it is you would think you would only need it on a lot of the bigger stuff, but I see it come into play quite often on some of the smaller stuff that really helps out, especially with the finishing of dents. But I don't get too crazy with it myself personally.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun. I noticed that sometimes it can be difficult to get the large tab off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you guys used to get the large tabs off easily?
In my experience, I usually just heat it back up and then reapply alcohol and stuff to it while it's still mostly warm. Or if you want to feel like you can heat it up enough, you can just heat it up to where the glue almost liquidates itself again and pull it back off. But
Yep. Okay.
it's a little more difficult to handle at that point.
Yeah.
But that's
Awesome.
what I use.
I've had good luck with so I mean we're talking larger tabs. It all depends. So if it's something like that I'm pulling out with a ratchet strap or something like that, and it's a big tab, I'll release it under pressure. So I'll spray the alcohol under it with the tension applied and just wait for it to pop off. I mean, that's really the easiest way. PDR, that's a little less ideal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Cam Auto even sells a wedge tool. It's a good size. It's like a foot long. It's only about an inch wide, and one end is beveled down to a
Pretty sharp.
yeah, it's pretty sharp, and it's a soft plastic. And you spray the alcohol on it, you give it a little more pressure, and you get that thing in there and just lift up on the glue. Generally, 9 times out of 10, the rest of it just goes bam and just pops off. So a little plastic wedge, soft plastic, just to lift the edge of the glue to allow the alcohol to start going underneath, keep the tension on it, and you get it off. Oh, there's Barry. Heat the panel from behind and the alcohol to the table. Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if you can get behind it, then yeah, heating from behind is fine. But I
That
find
is an
myself
interesting idea.
in spots sometimes where access heat is not from behind, it just won't work. But yeah, I heat it back up whenever possible or whatever for that situation. So
Yeah. It's especially with those big JVF tabs, man. I get one fully glued on there. It can be some work to get it off.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I sometimes literally all I can do is get my fingers a little bit behind it, put the pressure, and then spray alcohol. Just keep spraying, and just through the patience, the capillary effect, and eventually it releases the rest of the glue. But with the big tab, it's hard. I agree there.
Yeah. Have you found something that works good for you, or what situation what do you use?
Basically everything y'all just said.
Yeah.
There's not too many options, huh?
There's really not, but you can always stumble upon something new, but yeah, like what Barry says, your heat from behind. If I got access to heat from behind, I will, but most of the time I don't.
Alcohol to the tab. Yeah, I get it. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Hey, Dennis, do you have a favorite tool?
Yeah, favorite tool. It's going to be the Mark Circus set from PDR Finesse. All 5 tools. Or maybe 6 now. I think there's 6 now, but the original 5. I mean, pretty much use them daily.
Yeah.
At least one of them. Let's go to tool.
Nice.
Doors, fenders, quarter panels.
I currently don't have any PDR Finesse tools. I need to change that.
I have
Everybody
one.
says they love PDR Finesse.
They're phenomenal. They make
I have one PDR Finesse door tool, and it is my go-to door tool. So it was actually purchased by my trainer, David White. He's like, you're going to need this. And I'm like, I already got door tools. And then it ends up I use the one he got me constantly. It's like, all right, you were right.
Yeah, I don't really use door tools very often. I find that they slip a lot. That's why I use the circus rods to push, twist on doors.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. That I've had situations where some door tools have slipped on me, and I didn't create much damage because they were on aluminum. But still, it's always you can kind of after it slips once or twice, you kind of know when it's about to.
All right.
And Nick says he does the old pull and pray
We'll pull and pray. That's
on
good.
tabs. Yeah. Have
I'll
you,
tell you.
speaking of Dent Vision tools, right quick, have you used any of his stuff? His
Yeah, he
new
actually,
paddles?
no, I got the knockdown.
Okay,
I've
the
been
shock
using it
blocker
since
knockdown?
June. Say what?
The shock blocker knockdown?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what it's called, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been using that since June, and I use it only with a cherry tip, R4 cherry tip.
Mhm.
It's so nice.
Yeah, he's come out with some pretty good stuff. I've enjoyed his paddle that
There
he
it
made
is.
also.
Yep. It's Aiden was asking, so I already had it pulled up. So there it is, right there.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's worth the money if you can just get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
On my list.
Nice recommendations.
Absolutely the best. And then the bottom two, the shorter ones, you can use those in the top of doors where the upper brace is at. They're absolutely phenomenal for that.
Slip them right into the little holes in that upper
Mhm.
brace.
hmm
Yeah, you're making me want to do an Anson order tonight.
Just do it now. Use code DantBaron15. Have a nice day.
I happen to have a code as well.
I'm totally joking. There's no code. I made that up.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's gotta love the guys over at Anson. They if they sell it at Anson, honestly, it's good stuff.
I didn't know they
haven't
sold
found
it.
any.
I said, okay.
Yep. They get their hands on stuff that's worth selling. I mean, even it might be out of stock, so you might have to go somewhere else or some once in a while. I mean, every company does that, but if it's listed on their site, that means it's good stuff. So,
Yeah, customer service there is absolutely fantastic.
yep, they're the
Yep.
best.
I really enjoy Anson and really everybody from Anson's super good people.
Yep.
I've enjoyed, especially when we went to Anson Open House. That was really good.
Yeah.
Have you been to Anson Open House or MTE or anything like that? Do you plan on doing any of that sort of stuff?
I haven't been to Anson Open House. I went to MTE in 2015 for the first time. And that's when I heard about the PDR College podcast. I was like, podcast? What's a podcast?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then I went again in 2016. And then last time I went was 2018.
Okay. All right. Any plans to go this year?
Yeah, I'm going to go this year.
Oh, okay. We'll be there. It'd be
Nice.
nice to catch up with you
Dentcraft
there.
tools are absolutely phenomenal. I would recommend their
I think so too.
interchangeable tip tools, the double bend and the single bend.
Any length and preferable, or you like?
Yeah, the 24-inch and shorter are phenomenal for doors. You can get tons of leverage. Put an R4 cherry tip, push a lot of damage out quickly, and then great for fenders and quarter panels as well, up to 32, 36. I don't have anything larger than 36.
Yeah.
But they make them.
Yeah, we normally tell people if you're going to buy one tool, single or double bend, 24, 36 inch for one of your first tools to start out with. And it's usually a Dentcraft interchangeable tip tool.
Interchangeable tip tool.
Yeah.
Get
And they have the best
R4.
wheel tails.
Yeah,
Get it-
Everybody
yep.
has that.
that's
all my wheel tails are Dentcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some A1 whale tails as well. But yeah, that's what we usually tell people starting out in a body shop. If you're going to get some push tools and stuff, somewhere along those lines, it'll get you set up really nice.
Yep. Dentcraft is your best bang for your buck too, I believe. Every
Yeah, don't
time
forget to get the cherry tips, the
Yep.
R8s. The reds are a little bit more firm, and the blues are a little bit more sticky. They'll stick to the panel a little bit more. Great for knocking down as well. So might as well rack up on those both ends. Don't be
Yep.
shy.
Yep, got to have both of those.
Did you say
Like you said, it's
R8?
just money.
Did you say R8?
Yeah, the R8, whatever it is,
Okay.
I have no idea. Like the mushroom tips, different
Okay.
sizes, M16, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out numbers.
Okay. No, they're so I use an R4 tip for just about everything. I did go to the Kiko, Oklahoma in-person training, got to use their GPR Plus kit, and they had the R2
Yep.
on there, and the R2 is a nice tip, and I've been meaning to pick one up ever since. And it's just that little ball tip on the end, but nice and sharp, so you can get the details done.
Well, I'll make a recommendation on that. If you're going to get one, you might as well get 5 because you'd hate to lose it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I mean,
Good to know.
you can keep the red cherry tip on one and the blue one on the other. So why not do that? And then 2 of them open.
I didn't even know about blue tips.
Mhm.
Yeah, the blue tips are fantastic.
Okay, all right, so on the list.
They're a little bit softer.
Mhm.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
I've got a few of them that I use that I've been enjoying also. I've used those Ultra Dent soft caps too, and they break easily, but still really good.
Speaking of, go ahead.
I was going to say if I had to choose again, I would definitely go with the R4 blue caps, soft caps from Dentcraft.
Okay.
It's just my opinion.
Have you, Dennis? Have you played with Black Magic PDR tips at all?
Oh man, I thought you were talking about Black Ops 6 for a second.
Well,
No,
Black Magic. What now?
Black Magic PDR tips. So
Don't
friend of
recall.
friend of ours, Ted Cunahan, he started a company 3D printing PDR tips, and he's able to make them for whale tails, those lucky sevens,
Yes.
the weird kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got something really, really awesome going. It's I'm trying to bring up his website here.
I've seen them. They snap onto a well tail, so you get
Yep.
soft pushes.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, he's got them for just
Yeah.
about every tool you can think of. But yeah, you got the whale
Awesome.
tails. It's got these. The material that these are made out of are just phenomenal for this. I mean, they last a long time. I've got door tools that were the first ones that I use them all the time. I'm still haven't pushed through them. He's got the sharp tip tools, so you can take your sharp tip and make it blunt. I mean, he's changing the game with these tips, and yeah, so right now it's his only income. So we're trying to remind people that if they're in need of tips, at least give these guys a try, because once
What's
you get
the website
them,
we can go to?
it is blackmagicpdr.com.
Okay.
And they're phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's my only problem is I bought them for all my tools, and now I mean I haven't pushed through any of them, so I just don't need any more at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's had some medical things lately, and he's been progressing really, really nicely in his rehab and everything. But it's tough times, needs our support. So
Okay.
anybody who needs tips,
Some good stuff though. I mean, tips for literally every tool. So
yeah.
you will be glad you have some of those.
Yep. It actually
Yeah.
happened just before MTE last year, so it's been almost a year.
Too
That's the
good.
downside of that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so I can say the same thing about the peel wheel. I'm still using my first peel wheel. I've been using over a year. It's an eraser wheel for your drill to take a double-sided adhesive off and stuff, vinyl tape. Still using the same one. You made this way too good, dude. It's gonna do you in.
Yeah,
It's another great product, though.
absolutely is.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about your social media success. And so are you just on YouTube, or are you on anything else?
Well, it must not be too successful.
If I don't know.
No, I'm not successful. I'm not. Let's be honest. I'm
Well,
on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as well.
Okay.
Yeah, 40,000's not you don't just come across that on YouTube. So
No,
I mean, and you've made some really good content.
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
it's got a
yeah.
lot of long form stuff here, so you got to have a lot of good info on it, and then you do
Mhm.
your shorts as well. So it's
Lots of nice work to go along with the good content. It's always, you know, always good. I mean, that's how you come up with that and pushing. Like I said earlier, if you make one video and it doesn't go anywhere, you just got to keep on with the next one. And
That is true.
yeah, you've done some good work here for
Thank
sure.
you. I appreciate that. The only reason I did it was to help. The only reason I started YouTube was to help people at the
Mhm.
beginning, because, man, when you're starting off, nobody wants to help you because they think you're going to take their market over. Like, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. We have about 22, 23 PDR guys and over 1.5 million people, and probably 5% of that may be in your niche. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
Stop being
Yeah.
stingy. Stop being selfish. If somebody needs help, lend a hand. I mean, you don't have to train them, but somebody calls you on the phone, answer the phone and help them out. Spend 5 minutes with them on the phone. That's just the kind of
Yeah.
thing that irks me when people treat people like that. So that's why I created the YouTube channel, just to help new people who want to learn something.
that's great.
You never know what you can get from helping other people.
yeah, for sure. And you took with the YouTube, you took it out of North Carolina and spread it across all over. So a lot of people I've seen enjoyed and took from some of your videos. Whether or not they followed, I don't know, but you had some really good stuff. Is there a video in particular that you really enjoy more so than the others, or you feel about the same with all of them, or is there like a repair that you put on here that you felt good about more so than the others?
Really, no. Honestly,
No.
there's this one video I made back in 2020 when I built my glue pull tower. I was like, this video is going to be hot because, for me, it did well on Instagram, like 20,000 views. To me, that was a lot in like a day.
It is a lot. Yeah.
I mean, it still is a lot. Let's be honest.
Yep.
And I was just like overwhelmed with the stuff, so I had to silence it. And then I had another video that had like 15 million views and 1 million, and then like 2.5 million. But once you hit 1 million on Facebook, oh my gosh, the trolls come out. And
Oh,
it's sickening. The people have no clue. They just want to just say whatever they want to say, and you're just like, what is wrong? So I just turn all the chat off now. I
Yeah.
can't listen to the people.
that's good advice.
Yeah,
That's good
really.
advice. It's hard not to respond to people like that. I mean, I find myself responding to my haters when a video goes viral, but I have my personal rules. I don't cut them down.
Yeah.
I don't argue. I just state my side, why I believe that I'm correct, and then the obvious comes back with some more name calling or something. I just shut it down at that point. I'm like, all right, I'm not responding to you anymore. But yeah,
Yes.
what David says is right. If
Yeah.
you have haters, you're doing something right.
That is very true. Look at Donald Trump and Kamala Harris.
No politics on this channel.
Oh, it's not politics. I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
no, I hear you. I just, yep. Go ahead, Nick.
It is. I was gonna say it is true. I mean, anybody that is doing something good, they've got haters falling behind somewhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whether
It's because they're trying to make sense of their own world.
Sure. It's it's tough to nail down exactly why people say what they say. A lot of things I've also noticed that I give people a chance to clarify themselves on their comments, because sometimes I'll read a comment in a way I'm like, wow, that's kind of a rude thing to say, and I'm like, why would you say that or this or that? Do you mean this? And sometimes they'll come back, oh yeah, man, I'm not hating it all. I was just trying to tell you that I like to do it this way. It's like,
yeah,
it's like, oh, okay. So, I mean, why couldn't you have worded it a little less rude then? but at least asking for clarification has stopped a whole lot of conflicts for me.
Yeah, call
Hey,
people.
Steve.
Good point.
Steve in here. He's still working. He's gonna make a little spot nice and neat for you when you get there.
Well, yeah, Steve's working in a Cam Auto booth at the SEMA. He's setting it up so that when the talent gets there tomorrow, we'll be all ready to go.
Yeah, that's his words, not mine.
That's correct. That's correct. No, we can't wait to see you, Steve. It's a nice surprise
Yeah,
finding
for
out
sure.
that you'll be there. If you had one piece of advice for somebody who wants to do well on social media, you have some little tidbit.
The one thing that I hear, if you want to do well at anything, you got to be persistent.
Yes, that's
And
what
you're
I
going
tell
to
people.
fail. You got to accept failure. That's just part of the climbing up the mountain.
Yeah, learn from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Deep.
really good advice.
All right, no, that's great because that's exactly what I tell everybody as well. I mean, it's right away. I mean, people ask me, they're like, "Oh, where'd you get those boots?" I'm like, "Oh, well, Brunt sent them to me." And they're like, "How do you get free boots?" I'm like, "You have to have followers." How do
It's
you
not
get
free.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I put tons of time into this. It's not totally free. And it's, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? I say, well, first thing you got to ask yourself, are you willing to be persistent and post every day, even though for the last 6 months you've gotten 4 views on each video?
Yeah, right.
Every day. And they go, no. And I'm like, don't even try then. Don't even try. You got to be persistent. Maybe not every day, but you have to be persistent.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of collision guys have a lot of success in the PDR world, is because of that right there. The safety net of, well, if you mess it up, you just fill it and go on about your day, and or at least try to fix it the best you can, whatever. But you're not working on a customer's car, you're not practicing on a customer's car like that. At the end of the day, you didn't promise them that you could fix their dent and still keep their factory paint and do it out in the driveway or in the gravel or wherever. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to. First thing you got to do is, if you're doing PDR, you got to figure out what the customer wants, build a repair plan based on their needs, and meet their expectations. Whether they say, "Hey, just make it look better. It's my daughter's car," or, "Hey, this is my 1998 BMW M Series. I want it perfect. I mean, I don't want you to, oh my God, kind of guy."
yeah,
Mm.
right.
So it's all about meeting customers' expectation and asking the right questions.
That's great advice.
It really is. And
Perfection doesn't exist. Just remember that.
no, it doesn't. It looks like it does at first on Instagram when you're looking at all this stuff, but it really doesn't.
Yep.
It really doesn't.
The harder you look, though.
Yeah, right.
The harder you look.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to totally skip beats here, but we have a little bit of giveaway to do. Nick?
Yes, we do. We actually do.
I didn't know if you knew this, Dennis. We were doing a giveaway on that Dent Vision Dent Zapper paddle and Shock Blocker Knockdown this whole month. So people have been entering it on our Facebook, and we have a little live giveaway to do.
Uh-huh.
How many people do we have entered this time? What's the total number?
We have 22.
22.
22 people entered.
Okay, so I have a random number generator here. Full with advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we'll, there's, you want to show them the tool before we, or you don't have it with you because you're not at home.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but you
That's
can
right.
you can pull it up on our page if you like. But
people know what we're talking
I
about.
think people should know by now. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the odds, James Bernard says.
Yeah.
hold on, what else does this guy say? This is the guy who always wins everything. Definitely need to step up social media games. Lots of before and after pics still on the phone. Yeah. I mean, honestly, just get yourself CapCut and start using some templates with those photos. You can make some pretty snazzy videos with some pre-made templates. You can do it right on TikTok, too. They got their own templates.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to hit the button.
Let's go. Let's see who we get.
All right.
Let's see who we get.
Someone in the U.S. Someone in the U.S.
What?
Number 9.
Number 9.
Who's number 9, Nick?
Number 9 is actually Lindsay Deal.
All right. Well,
So,
congratulations.
And I haven't seen her in here today, but yeah, we will get her notified and let her get all her information, let her know she won, and get that sent out to her.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I swear, James, if you win again.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, well, now we got that one on the way. We've got to
We got to work on our next giveaway.
on the next video. Yeah.
Well, we're going to SEMA. We're going to be talking to lots of tool manufacturers. Maybe we can pick up somebody, do something.
I'm sure.
That'll
sure we can.
that'll be interesting. James says congratulations. Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun winning stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Somebody
nice.
let me know what that feels like sometime.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
I won a Snap-on refrigerator one time, and I never thought I would win
Me
anything.
too.
So,
I'm still sitting on top of my box.
That's awesome.
Little Snap-on fridge.
you ever won anything, Dennis, by doing any kind of bids or anything like that? Just in general, name and hats.
Activision sent me a custom jersey for playing Call of Duty World War II
Oh,
for 3 months straight, and my wife's pretty pissed about that because they didn't send her anything for all the heartache she had to endure while I was spending all that time playing the game.
That's great.
I actually have it mounted on my wall here, but can't see it unfortunately.
nice. I actually, me and Stefan actually play that quite a bit, and
Yeah, we're Warzone fans.
yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
Warzone's great.
Yep.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, we have a pretty good sized community, I would say, on Warzone.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
And, well, so Nick's pretty modest, but Nick's pretty damn good.
no, don't you start that.
Like I said, he's
No,
modest.
Not on here.
And so people tend to want to play with them, send friend requests and everything. So we got a pretty good throughout the years. We've created a nice little group of people. Got a Discord and everything. People hop on. It's fun.
I love to hear that. That is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun to do. And no, we're not live from Vegas, and this is not pre-recorded. We just hadn't made it there yet. We're flying in the morning. So
Yeah,
we
we're
should-
flying there tomorrow. We'll do plenty of recording while we're there, and you never know. I could pop on the phone onto the tripod and go live from the Cam Auto booth. A time or two. So make sure you pay attention to our Facebook and Instagram and such. So
Yeah.
it might happen, but no, we're always live. We were playing with the idea of doing a pre-recorded podcast with the footage from SEMA. Let's see, how much footage we get and how we're gonna do that. We might just put out a regular video and do our regular podcast thing. But hey, there we go. We're finished, girl. Janelle will go live and follow us around. So
Yeah, right.
that'll work. Well, Dennis, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's too bad we had the technical difficulties, but I'm glad we could at least hear you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's good. It'll be fine for Apple Podcasts and all that other stuff. So
yeah, we're on there. We're on Spotify and Amazon and everything. So
it'll still work fantastic.
for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I'm going to throw you in the back room. Don't go anywhere. We'll say our goodbyes after we go off live here, but we're just going to wrap up the show.
Sounds good.
All right. See you in a little bit. So yeah, SEMA tomorrow.
Yep. In the morning for me. we're gonna be up pretty early, so leaving out 6 o'clock is when our plane leaves. So yeah, got a long day tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get some good stuff, good footage, and hopefully, we make a good show out of it. See what, but I don't know.
You're gonna have a good time no matter what.
We're gonna have a great time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, in person.
Yeah, right.
Live in person.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye, everybody.